Hello, I'm David Roger, General Counsel for the Las Vegas Police Protective Association. So I'd like to talk to you in this video about detaining witnesses, not suspects, but witnesses. And at the outset, let me remind you that our standard, our goal is to make sure that you have valid legal laws at your disposal to do your job, and that these are clearly established laws so that if you do get sued in federal court, you'll get qualified immunity, because the standard is clearly established laws. And so and the courts aren't going to hold you responsible for a rule of law unless it is clear and it's clearly established. So that's our standard. So let's talk about detaining witnesses. And so, as you know, NRS 171.123 allows you to do a Terry stop of a suspect, not a witness. That is the statute with respect to detaining suspects. NRS 178.494 is a material witness warrant statute. And if the prosecution believes that it's not practicable to get a witness into court, they can petition the court for a material witness warrant. None of that helps you. That's just as background. And so the Nevada Supreme Court has not ruled on whether you can detain witnesses, but the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has. And that's the governing law in our circuit in the state of Nevada, and that's the standard that you're going to be held to. And so a little background, in 1973, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in U.S. v. Ward 488 F. 2nd 162 held that FBI agents violated a witness's constitutional rights when they detained the witness to interrogate them about a fugitive. And then thereafter, in Maxwell versus San Diego County, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals once again held that sheriff deputies who detained witnesses to a shooting did so unconstitutionally. And so up until 2023, there were no exceptions. You simply cannot detain witnesses. And in 2023, an unusual case came to the attention of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. I know it killed them to carve out this exception, but as I talk about it, you'll understand. And so in Bernal, B-E-R-N-A-L versus Sacramento, 73 F. 4th 678, Bernal was a husband and wife who had a child. Police had information that the juvenile was going to shoot up a school. And so they had information that mom and dad Bernal knew where he was. And so there's, obviously all hands on deck. They didn't want another mass shooting. And so they detained the parents against their will, obviously. And apparently they found the juvenile and they avoided another school shooting. Kudos to them. Amazingly, the mother and father then filed a civil rights lawsuit against the sheriff's deputies. Craziness, right? I mean, you would think that they'd be happy that their child didn't commit a mass shooting, the child wasn't shot by police in a shootout, all of those factors. They filed a lawsuit against the sheriff deputies saying that they are unconstitutionally detained, that their Fourth Amendment rights were violated. And so you can see that the Ninth Circuit had to struggle with this one. And the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals held that the officers, the sheriff deputies, were entitled to qualified immunity and that they did not violate their constitutional rights by detaining the parents. But when you listen to this language, you'll see that it really is of no help to us whatsoever. And so in Bernal versus Sacramento County Sheriff's Department, the court stated, to justify the suspicionless seizure of a material witness, i.e. the parents. There must be exigencies requiring immediate action. The gravity of the public interest must be great, so it has to be something that requires immediate action. The crime must be severe and a threat to others, and the detention must be minimally intrusive, both in length of time and amount of force used. In analyzing the facts, the court explained that the witnesses had information crucial to stopping a potential mass shooting, and that there was an ongoing emergency threatening numerous lives which required immediate action. And then the court said the detention must be brief, ending after it is clear that the witness is not willing to divulge the information sought. And so the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals values individual civil liberties over solving crimes. And so this is the only exception in which we can use to detain witnesses. And so as you can see, it has to be a dynamic situation. It has to be a serious crime, has to be a serious threat to the public. And you can detain witnesses, but when they say, I don't want to talk to you, you got to cut them loose. Insanity. So with respect to your daily job, when a detective says, hey, detain the witness, I want to talk to him, and the crime has already occurred, obviously, and the suspect is gone, unless it is a serious situation that we found in Bernal, you can't do it. Don't play the game about grabbing their driver's license and then leaving the area, because unless you have the circumstances that were listed in Bernal, you're going to be sued and you're not going to get qualified immunity. And so obviously, if you can get the person's witness's consent, great. If you can get a quick voluntary statement, great. If you can get their identification without stealing or taking their ID and leaving, all the better, and then detectives can follow up later. I know this is not good news, but my job is to make sure that you understand the parameters of what you can do in your job so that you and your family don't get sued and lose qualified immunity. As always, thank you for listening. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get these quicker than our emails. And if you have any questions, contact me at droger@lvppa.com. Thank you.
111, 110.